Saturday, April 6th, 1765. The sloop Polly, owned by Job Smith, has just returned with a load of molasses from Suriname in South America. The Polly lies anchored in the Swansea River, a short distance from the village of Dighton, Massachusetts.
Keep going, Job. Keep going. You haven't even started sweating yet.
Back to it, Job.
Oh, for heaven's sakes, mate. She's clean enough.
Now, your dad aboard, she isn't. You know him.
In Amsterdam there dwells a maid, mark well what I do say. In Amsterdam there dwells a maid, and she is mistress of her trade.
The Polly is carrying 120 barrels of molasses destined for Job Smith's distillery, where the molasses will be made into rum. Captain Smith has declared and paid duty on only half of that cargo. New England merchants claiming they cannot afford the duty have for years circumvented the law in this manner. The customs officials know it. Up to now, they have accepted it. But a new law is about to break up old ways of doing business and old friendships, such as the one between Nicholas Lechmere, a minor official of the Newport, Rhode Island Customs Office, and Captain Job Smith.
She was mistress of... I gave him my name. Thank God I didn't give him my voice. Here's to good friendship, Nicholas. May it last forever.
I fear that it won't, Job.
What are you talking about?
There's a new wind blowing. The law's to be strictly enforced now. They mean to get 3 pennies on every last gallon of foreign molasses that comes ashore.
So I've heard, but I don't believe it.
Perhaps you haven't noticed, but there are more British men of war in our harbors than at any time since the war with France.
I haven't paid it much attention.
This is no time to bury your head in the sand.
What are you driving at, Nicholas?
I've been instructed in very plain language.
By who?
My esteemed superior, John Robinson, Chief Customs Collector for the Port of Rhode Island. Job, he's all iron, that man.
I know of him. He's instructed you,
To use the whip, his very words.
Well?
Job, you declared 63 barrels of molasses. You're carrying 120.
Mm-hmm.
You're breaking the law, Job.
You never said anything such as that to me, Nicholas. Not as long as I can remember.
I'm saying it now. I can't accept this declaration.
Damn it, Nicholas, I can't afford to pay that much. You know that.
It's out of my hands, Job. I don't like doing this. Not only because of our friendship, but the law's harsh. It'll breed anger, perhaps even violence.
Make no mistake about it.
Unless men like you, men who are looked up to by the community, set an example.
An example of what? Putting up with a whipping like a schoolboy?
Job, I don't think you're the kind of man who's loyal to his government only as long as it does his will.
No. I guess I'm not. All right then, old friend. I'll have to go home for the rest of the money. Will you wait?
Of course.
I'll advance you the money, sure, Job. But I don't like the way you intend spending it.
Neither do I, Elisha.
This the law. I didn't think they'd try to enforce it. With all them petitions of ours, I really thought they'd listen. Well, looks like they haven't. Looks like we'll have to take a stand. Tell them more plainly.
How?
Unload the poly, Job. Hide away our cargo. You can use that barn of mine up in the woods. Or make them settle on your terms. Take what you offer or go empty-handed.
You're mad, Ian.
I mean it, Job. I mean it, and I'll stand right by you.
I've been bending the law, Ian. Like most everyone in my line of trade. What you're asking me now is to openly break it. Openly defying the king.
And so? He's got his hand on your throat, Job. 3 pennies per gallon of molasses strictly enforced, and you'll be the first of us to be ruined. It'll up the price of rum to where you'll lose your profits. That's so, isn't it?
Maybe.
Well?
I don't agree with the king. That doesn't mean I'm willing to go against him like an unruly child fighting his parent. I'm a grown man, Elisha.
Meaning what, Pa? You let him wipe his feet all over you like you was some old rag?
Hush your mouth, young man.
Don't let him do it, Pa. Please.
If you'll give me the money now, Elisha.
Hey, Pa, look.
Mr. Smith?
My son, Job Jr.?
John Robinson, Customs Collector, Port of Rhode Island. Captain Antrobus, His Majesty's Man of War, Maidstone.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Smith, I read the declaration you made when you docked at Newport. You declared and paid duty on 63 barrels of molasses. 63 barrels? Seemed like such a small cargo for a ship of this size. I decided to come and see for myself. As a matter of fact, sir, you're carrying nearly twice the cargo you declared.
Nicholas, didn't you tell him I was willing to pay the full amount?
You broke the king's law, Mr. Smith. For that, I seized your ship and all the cargo which duty has not been paid.
You what?
You'll do no such thing, mate. Man, he's trying to take the ship away from us.
Quiet! I said I'd pay, Mr. Robinson, in full.
After you were caught, Mr. Smith. After you were caught. Always the same story. Nobody pays unless I make them. Nobody respects the law unless I enforce it. Well, sir, if you'll prepare to sail...
Lads, you heard the man. Lads.
All right, my good man. I'll send a crew from Newport to fetch her.
I don't think you'll get your ship back, regardless of what you do.
Why?
You've fallen into the hands of leeches, Job. Leeches that won't stop until they've sucked you dry. You'll be brought into a court of admiralty, where you'll be judged and condemned without a jury.
That's a guess, Elisha.
I bet it's not too far off the mark. You see, if they condemn your ship and sell it, which they surely will, John Robinson stands to get 1/3 of the proceedings.
What's all this? What's this all about, Ian?
Job, we've come to ask you to make a stand. Unload the Polly, hide the cargo, get the ship away from here. We wouldn't be asking this of you, Job, if we weren't in this together, all of us. A lot of us are living off the molasses trade. 3 pennies per gallon, Job. Strictly enforced, and this town will be dying, and a lot of other towns with it.
Ian's right, Job. You're not looking at the whole picture. If we had only the molasses tax to contend with, we mightn't be driven into this. The fact is, they're strangling us. Why, there's a duty on damn near everything we import and export. We can't sell or buy hardly a thing without England's permission, through English middlemen. There's fences and restrictions wherever we turn. There's not a trade that's prospering that they're not laying an axe to, or trying to kill. Wool, iron, logwood, wine, and now molasses. That's true, isn't it?
We're the sheep, they're the shearers. God hasn't meant us to toil and sweat for their benefit. We've made a garden of this wilderness, Job. And I say we're entitled to the full fruits of our labor.
Besides, Job, the molasses tax is a violation of our rights as Englishmen. We can't be taxed unless actually represented in Parliament. We aren't.
to say, never cut a knot until you've tried untying it. It may cost you a fingernail, but you wind up with a whole string, not a handful of little pieces. Mr. Robinson?
Yes, sir?
Mr. Robinson, I think we ought to be settling this matter peacefully before all of us are in this thing deeper than we care to be.
Curious to know what you mean by settling peacefully.
I'll pay all I owe. Besides, I'll pay for your time, your trouble, your travel. You give me back my ship and my cargo.
Mr. Smith, not long ago, England defended these colonies against the French and the Indians. Spent our money freely and our blood for 7 long years.
We did our share.
Drop in the bucket. Mr. Smith, do you know what England still owes on that war? Over 100 million pounds. Your burden is light, Mr. Smith. Mere pittance compared to what we're asked to pay back in England. I can't make any deals with you, Mr. Smith. Not with you or anybody else. The British Empire is run by laws, not by shady deals with dishonest people.
For heaven's sake, man, bend a little or there's going to be violence.
Violence. Mr. Smith, I've been in this colony nearly a year. Still, you good people provide a new reason every day why I should give you an exemption from the King's laws.
I need my ship, Mr. Robinson.
You should have thought of that beforehand. I'll be sending a crew to fetch you, Mr. Smith. Mr. Letchmere will stay here to keep an eye on things. Send that rabble home, or the Navy will make mincemeat of them.
He couldn't give in now, even if he wanted to, Job. Job, you don't know the man. He does not make deals. Least of all under pressure. He plays it strictly by the book. To him, rules are rules and laws are laws. He's an honest man, Job. The king gave him orders. He'll carry them out. Job, he'll be coming for your ship.
I'll scuttle her before I let him have her.
You're wrong, Job. You're wrong and you know it.
I'm not a child that needs spanking, Nicholas. You hear?
That's it, sir. Every last barrel.
Thanks, mate. I'll be right along.